Hello YouTube, Aaron here with another one. In today's video I'm going to be talking about my ISO creating software and the fact that I've just open sourced it, and I've made three versions of a script, or four maybe, I think. So I've got two all-in-ones, although one of them's more stable than the other, and then I've got a C script. I think I've got three. I'm on my way for four anyway. Well, no, I've got the Rust one as well, so that would make it to four. But it's all open source and I put it on the internet. And I just want to talk about the fact that I made it in the first place to try and get some sort of feedback and some sort of commentary, and I was hoping to get a lot more people into it than what I originally had, or have got, should I say, over the amount of time that I've been doing it or making this software. I've got different versions of it. Obviously this is the multi version, which was the first ever version I ever made, really, or spin of it, because obviously I've got it under different names, pretty much all the same. I'm trying to stick to the same, so like you got the use size, available size in the UI or the TUI, but basically I've open sourced it to try and hopefully get more feedback, hopefully get more people into it, because you can't really do that. Well, you can do that when it's closed source, but now I guess I'll have a lot more people interested, because they could add new features if they're any good at coding or whatever. And since that's why I coded it in different languages and put on my GitHub, because I'm actually I'm screen sharing my other desktop here with I think it's called Rust Desk. So it's pretty good software. I'd suggest that to anyone that wants to use free open source remote desktop software. I don't know, it's all new to me and I was trying to find the easiest option, and this was good for me. It does say something about pricing, but I didn't really click on that. But yeah, I've completely open sourced it. I've made a Rust version, I've made a C version. I'm calling it the advanced C script, the advanced Rust script, and the advanced C++ script, and they essentially do all the same thing, although the original version 0.2 the original update I made in C was individual components before I turned it all into one. So yeah, if we've got anyone that's good at coding, this is why I've turned it into an experimental playground. I will show the GitHub repository. Also, we'll show something else that a GitHub user asked me to do. I'm going to do that in this video. He's asked me to put something on the Pling store, a link to the repository, and also explain how to install it correctly. And what we'll do is we'll add some code that I've just updated within the last hour, and basically it's to do with my C++ script, ISO creator, and I've changed the menus to be specific colors now depending on the distribution. So for Arch we've got default blue, and the highlight will be, by highlight I mean when you're on a option on the menu. So say if you was to go into the setup script, so if I scroll down with the arrow keys now, because it's arrow keys and not numbers, if I was to scroll down, the item that highlights will be on Arch cyan. So I've got default blue and we've got cyan. For Ubuntu, you can already guess what it's going to be. It's going to be cyan and highlighted in orange, and then Debian is going to be cyan and then highlighted in red. I've also added support for CacheOS just because I needed CacheOS to work as well, since I primarily use that. I did say in my last video I'm going to be trying to just update some of my projects. So there's a lot of projects that I have got, and this is one that I kind of started in the first place. So I want to get back into ISO creating, and the main reason I got into this in the first place is because I have to create an ISO of the gaming handheld edition. So my theory is if I create an ext4 version and then turn that into BTRFS, it may just work. I don't know. We're going to see. Yeah, there's a lot to test. I honestly don't understand why it's not working with my code for my cloning of the .image.xz. For those that are probably going to ask if I'm going to open source that, I'm probably not going to open source that just because I've put a ton of work into it. Although with the ISO creator, there is many tools that are open source anyway, so the code is essentially out there. There probably is code, and it wouldn't be too hard either to make .image.xz. I'm probably going to leave that unless anyone finds anything, which I wouldn't know because I haven't really done my research. Probably just leave that as like a pirate's treasure chest sort of thing, like, so you know, it's for me to know, for you to work out sort of thing. I'm not going to put any code on the internet from I haven't thought of doing that yet. But yeah, so I've put maybe 4 days into the ISO creator, the new update, and I based it off of old scripts. I essentially built it from version 105, which is what I had backed up, and I had some other scripts from the newer versions as well. A lot of my stuff has been deleted. I don't know for those that have been watching my videos over the last couple of months or whatever, but my stuff actually got deleted off my USB. Was it my USB or hard drive? One of the two. I had something like maybe 30 gigabytes worth of stuff, like hacky little scripts and things that I made. I've managed to keep some of the best things, really, because a lot of it was really just time-consuming things that really didn't make any sense at the time. A lot of my things are now gone open source anyway now, so if I was to update anything, one of them was my USB creator. I wanted to update that, and I found the code at one point recently, and I've lost it again, and it's like I'm trying to find that code, and having 101 backups on my Google Drive isn't good. Anyway, so with this ISO creator, I've done lots and lots of tests to know which commands actually work. So it's not like I'm just making something from scratch. All these commands have been used in various different versions of the same tool. Basically, it'll all do the same thing. The Debian commands don't change. The Ubuntu commands don't change. I've been doing this for 2.5 years. So just because the script itself is maybe a little bit old or not up to scratch doesn't mean that, you know, the commands don't work. I've done a lot of testing as well, and also this is based off of old files that I've used and done my tests on, and of course they all compile fine. By tests, I've tested it on Arch, and the commands for Debian are the commands for Debian out of the other scripts. So there's no point even testing it, really. To say that really and truly it's like solid gold. It is solid gold. That's why I made different versions of the script. Although like over time I'll update them. I might have to rebuild them off of my C++, which is an all-in-one 1,000 plus line script. I think it's 1,050 lines. Let's come over to this screen and close this. Hopefully you can make this full screen somehow. I'm not too sure how. Does look a bit too small for my liking. Oh, I'll get it. Oh, here we go. Original. Huh. That's not the original size. It's half of the size. Here we go, people. I'm getting used to this anyway. This is new software. I did say suggest it. Anyway, you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna see my mouse on the opposite screen. But this is the code that I just got from DeepSeek. This is 1,000 lines. I don't really need to test it because I've done this for many hours, and I know what the code looks like to know what's going to work and what's not going to work. So we can. I'll look at the code, but I sat there before it was finished. I didn't need to complain much to the bot because most of the commands are generic anyway. There's just packages and a few copy commands. Oh, we've got a few additives, of course, like we've got like special commands that go in the user bin directory, which I think is pretty cool, and I'm going to add options as well for other things like the QEMU option will be a command, and it'll be wrapped around a file location as well. So like there's going to be lots of things added into this. It's a playground. Anyway, let's go on here. I wasn't expecting my keyboard to work like this. That's pretty cool. So Penguin's Eggs is updating. I actually follow Penguin's Eggs. I've got him as a friend on Facebook. This is what I've been updating. For those that don't know, I did make an Ubuntu version quite recently as well, but that's what some of this is built off of. So version 1, let's go to releases. So the last update was many months ago nearly. Now we're talking like 4 months ago, and then the 106 final was last year. There was loads of updates. So I had like a GUI as 105, which I changed over. 102 was like a broken version that would launch the ISO and mount it, and it'd boot as like a CD. So if you'd open Dolphin, it'd show that it's a CD instead of like a normal ISO. So normally you'd see like the ISO tag, and you click the ISO tag and then you see the files. But instead, because my .configs was set up as I think CR0 I think or something, /dev/CR0 or dev0 or some silly thing like that, was basically mounting it as a CD, so you couldn't actually install anything. But what I've done now is I've added the option to install, and essentially I've got all of these different scripts. I built the Rust script yesterday. I've done some testing from what I believe it's a standard build of the C++ script. It got converted from the C++ script at a time yesterday. It's not got all the latest stuff, which is why I'm saying I might convert it again, but I want to get the C++ script at least built. It's an all-in-one, like I said, and we've got all of these things. All these, it's about 1,059. If we go to GitHub, we can see what a user said. We'll do this quick, we'll test the script, and then that'll probably be it today. I just wanted to talk about this. For those that really want to get involved, why not get involved? That's why I've written it in Rust. You can write it in any sort of language really. It's a playground. So someone said, can you add the repo link for the 12 menu in the KD12 menu store? So we can do that. And we just read what it says. So I actually put here, I have wild ideas and lots of things being made in this repository. Contribute if you want. Test all new scripts with caution. If you're using Debian or Ubuntu, and you install the C script, because you've got the C++ and the C script. If you're using the C script, then you need to install these packages only on Debian and Ubuntu or its derivatives. But yeah, I actually don't know. No, because we've got something. I've got a distro distribution checker. So if you're using a derivative that's something like Antics, and they've changed their OS release, then of course this script will need to be edited. So yeah, you can do that yourself if you know what you're doing. But I'm only supporting the pure base and CachyOS. So we've got Arch, Ubuntu and Debian and CachyOS only because I use CachyOS. KD Neon will show up as Ubuntu because they don't edit their OS release to say that they're not Ubuntu, and they know that they use Ubuntu 2404, and they're not like any other distribution that's going to edit their OS release to a distribution that is not based off of, try and claim it's something it's not. We've got to log into the Pling store, and need I say that I did do that at one point on my distributions, so I'm not saying that you're in the wrong for doing that, but it just makes sense to really just keep it as what it is. This is why I did at one point just use Arch repositories, and I didn't actually use CachyOS until a certain time. Start building off of CachyOS. I've been using it now probably the best part of 2 months. I haven't been on Hyperland. I did use Hyperland and I'm kind of missing it. I want to get into building that back up. I've got so many new things that I can do with it. I actually want to change the loader into some sort of mini distribution. So like the loader has different things that you can select, and I do like that layout, and I might have that as like a distribution that you can use on your tablet / handheld PC. I'm calling it a tablet. Pretty useful. So if we come here, I can't put the source because then they do say that they will remove the link. So we could do the home page as that, and then he wants me to explain how to do it. Hopefully I get some sort of contribution, feedback. I don't know what Pario's trying to do, my Italian friend, but he's trying to put BTRFS in a SquashFS and boot it without the sub volumes. It's not going to work. BTRFS is BTRFS. In fact, no, I downloaded the ISO, so I don't know if he's using a SquashFS. Well, all I know is I downloaded the ISO and it doesn't boot anyway. What I want to do is I want to put a dot image in an ISO, and I want to boot the dot image from the ISO, and I do believe there is a way to do this. And of course, if you're using a BTRFS dot image, this makes sense. But if you're using a ext4 image, that don't make any sense because you can't compress the system like you can with BTRFS. So it only makes sense to do the BTRFS route. and then put it into an ISO. I'd have to edit the .configs. I was halfway into it the other day and I just got lazy and thought, alright, I'm just going to make an ISO creator, and there is many things that I would add into this, like loop support. So I'm just going to do this. We're going to test the code. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So I actually want to add loop support into this. I remember the last time I added loop support. No, last time I tested loop files. So I made I used Penguin's to create a loop file, and then I used Calamares to install my loop file, or whatever I did. I can't remember. I used the loop file. I installed it somehow, and my desktop was finito, so this is why I don't use Calamares, in the sense of with the loop file, where people can obviously set up a different user. But I would like to somehow support this with my distributions, so that would be something I would also support with my ISO creator. So I just copy that like 3 times. Oh my days. I don't even know if that writing's already in it. I can't remember doing it 3 times. So installation method. Well, the installation method is this just makes it Alright, so half my stuff I will say that I kind of keep it like to a sense where I expect people to know certain things, and maybe I should explain it a little bit better, which is what I'm doing now. But it's like I've got so many things that I'm trying to do, so I wish I didn't have to do this. But one can't complain. I'm all here for people. I'm here to support, you know, so why not? Where's my fags? I'm gonna have a fag on camera, I don't really care. There should be a guide on how to manually install the files on this GitHub. Here we go. Download for playing and placing. Download through KD Widget Store, or download from playing and place in here. So yeah, download from KD Widget Store, then place it in there, then right click, I guess we'll do the same for the GitHub repository. So configure method, right click. What is this? This is annoying. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm not punctual. I may see what else I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So just remove that. That made no sense. Download for the KG widget store, or download from playing and place in there. Configure method. Right click default main menu. Alright, we'll shove this in the change log and on the GitHub repository. We'll go on to DeepSeek and some on the facts. Yeah. Go on to DeepSeek. Use that bit of code. I've got quite a few repositories now, to be fair. I'm using my old keyboard because my other one's on charge, sadly. 12 menu, what we'll do is just below where it says menu ditto, select menu. What we'll do is I think we'll leave that and just do the in the releases at least. I just try to not do too much because I've done quite a lot recently. So yeah, at least I can close the issues. What do I do? I can't remember. Close is not planned. Close is a comment. Close the comment. There. I know it was the other day I was doing an update and I managed to duplicate my branch. I was like, oh dear, what do I do now? So I don't know, something new. Never done it before, it was just an error. Okay, I don't know where my fags have gone, people. I'll do fancy fags. Here they are. I've got no time set on this video, but I haven't really got much to show, to be fair. I'm just doing it slowly. Let's have a look, see what that camera looks like. Just want to see what my camera looks like. Yeah. Alright, we'll get to some coding. So like I said, I made some changes with my 1000 line script. And I changed it so that the menu colours are different colours depending on the distro. Now I'm on CashOS, so it's going to be default blue. And Cyan, which I'm going to be changing the colours as well, funnily enough. So we'll do that as well from some old code of my .image.xz. We get a little glimpse. I'm not going to go through the whole code. I'm going to have a fag on camera, people. Far as I'm aware, this code works perfectly fine. I do not advise doing this without at least testing it, although I'm going to do it anyway. So DeepSeek was messing me about last night, and it got to the point where I finally got the working code for the all-in-one. So the menu options worked and it detected the distros. And well, I was having an issue with the setup script menu, so I managed to fix that, but it removed my colours. So I thought, you arsehole, yeah. That's what I thought. You arsehole. I just spent bare time. I was just about to change the colours anyway, and then it removed my colours. So I thought, you know what, that's it. Certain colours anyway. I thought that's it. Because I was just about to add the custom colours depending on the distro. And then it removed my colours. I was like, oh well, that's the end of it. And I tried to change the colours. It didn't want to do it. So I just went to sleep in the end. Anyway, I'm back up now. So I managed to get something this morning amongst tidying up or whatever. It took nearly 10 minutes. It takes nearly 10 minutes to get some code. And if the bot wants to mess you about, because you need to know how your code is scripted, and once you've done it a few times, you're going to know which script works and which one doesn't. And I've done this a few times now to know that this script is pretty much going to be a working script. It hasn't changed much. I've only asked it to do a few things. It could be potentially broken because it's a new feature. But we're going to go with the risk today because the last couple of times I've done this has pretty much been 100% working. And anyway, we could just do it again anyway, even if it takes 10 minutes to go through. The only problem with this project now is I've got a C++ script, I've got a C script, I've got a Rush script. I just want to, obviously with the C, it's all different files, got different folders, so if I get drunk or whatever, I need to remember if I'm editing anything just to keep it in the right folders. Because whilst I'm doing it at home, I guess I had the issue there is because I've got so many files to hand. Whereas obviously in repositories, it's different. So why can't I edit this then? Anyway, we're close this. Got to get used to this whole. Alright, well, can we edit now? What? I can't edit. This is a joke. So do the switch to read. Not prepared today. Anyway. Go back. You got my ugly face, right? Right, we'll go back. Got the full screen. Should hopefully be able to type. Mav. This keyboard is not letting me type. There we go. That might have been the issue in the first place, I don't know. I'm still half us fake people. Anyway, this is the right code. It's told me what it's done. Put my colours. The colours are wrong anyway. Or at least, I reckon we'll change the cyan right now. So, some of my code. It's not cyan. Alright, we'll try that. we could at least try that with the install script. We'd know if it works. If we get any errors, we can dish it back. As far as I'm aware, that should work. So. Make sure that we find strong. This all supports Ubuntu, Debian and Arch now, so pretty cool. Took me a while. Very long time. 3 days. I had to find my scripts in the first place to even build it, because a lot of them got lost. This keyboard's crap for typing password. But basically we've got all these different options now. What I just changed doesn't work. For some reason. Do that again. See? The bot is just wasting my time. Yeah, I can't have it wasting my time. I asked it to make the changes and it didn't want to make the changes. Oh dear. It's going to take 10 minutes to get anything if this don't work. All menus should be... This is what I don't like about the bot. When you ask it to do something and it don't listen. You're not listening to me. See if we get anywhere with this. Just don't want to listen. Do not duplicate it. Do not duplicate colours. Ah, mate. Why is it duplicating colours? I don't expect to see 36 twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. It's not going to give me any code. This is what I'm dealing with. Blue cyan. Why are you making two different... We're living in some sort of fairyland. This bot is just not with it. Don't listen to anything you say. You tell it to do one thing, it won't do it. I don't know how far I'm going to get with this bot. Who said blue? Yeah, with a blue highlight. Title. The prompt. The progress. Error. Two colours per distro menu. Full code, 1,000 plus lines. Do not give me fucking crap. You deal with this fucking bot all day. So I'll get a working script, say maybe once an hour once it plays like this, and then it'll tell me that I'm using the bot too much, and if I give it to any other bot I will not get the same lines of code. And there's no point just trying to edit little snippets of the code, because then it won't work. You need to have the full code, because you might be editing one part of the code that has a function at the end of the code. You just don't know, and it so happens to be that mine does. My code, the things that we're editing is throughout the whole of the script, so I need it edited in a way where I get the full script back without little snippets. And I could give it to Queen AI and get a response every 5 minutes, but I'm not dealing with that. I'd rather not edit it in snippets. I'd rather have full code, even if it takes 1 hour like it is now. This is just the thing with DeepSeek. Yeah, I have to wait until like 2 o'clock in the morning to at least get anywhere really with these scripts, because during the day it's just a matter of watching films and waiting the 20 odd minutes it takes to get a response. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say really. It's just annoying, this bot. I've asked it to do something, it don't even want to listen. We got this one here as well, which is the C script that we can at least test, and they're pretty similar. I'd say the C script is more stable because that's what I built first, even though it does use a different layout of files. I'd say it's better constructed in a way. So this has the option of the colours that I want. Funny enough, this is what I converted in the first place. But for some reason the bot is just, it's a paper umbrella in the rain, and unless you have something to, you know, shove at it, it don't know what it's doing. Give it a fag, give it some weed, give it a coffee, and it might just fuck off home. Do something in its life, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, most of this has been tested, like the commands at least work. Was working. Oh no, this one here didn't work. But if we go on to this one here, it does work. It's just the colours. The only option that doesn't work in that last script that I just showed is this one here. So we can do that in this video because it's something I did know. I did know because I thought about it earlier, and it's only Arch based. Yeah, I done some fixes yesterday. So like I added a location to delete the airrootfs. I changed the file from filesystem.squashfs to airrootfs because of course that was something that needed to be changed. So this is what I like to do. I like to have the project open, look at the code. So this is all very similar commands. It's all similar. We just use one piece of code from another. So the Arch script is to change directory and then do this. So where? I don't think each script is its own script, so I gotta remember that the way that I've built it. I try to get the colors to process, the commands to process in a certain color. So if we go back to, it's not even open now. Yeah, if we come back here, this bit of code here actually allows the commands to process in a certain color. So I can change that to work with whatever color I put here under Cyan. I did add that to the C++, although I haven't actually, well, we've done some tests in the C++, and for some reason, yeah. Well, there's a lot to add. The bot is messing me about. I've probably got like 5, 6 different things I need to at least add. As you can see, the commands at least work. You can edit files, generate the files that need to be where they need to be. The build images get generated where they need to be. You can pretty much make an ISO. All I'm doing is adding more features and just plushing it off of it. I would suggest using the C script opposed to the C++, but that's only because of obviously just attention to the detail. Although for the most part it's all the same anyway. Will be. Here we go. If that's if you're using Arch. So let's go back here. I might have to change the date on this as well. Okay, so we've done that there. We'll change the date on it as well, to let people know that, you know, this update come out today. Got a new update for the Arch. I obviously primarily use Arch, so I'm going to make sure that the Arch version works. And the other scripts are actually based off of that Arch one, so if I do any updates, the commands are all pretty much built in the same manner. So I just copied the same commands. I just copied the commands over from the other scripts. So I'll build it for Arch, then I'll add the Debian commands. Because the features obviously will be different, but the commands themselves will be the same. Because I'm not going to be changing the squashfs command or the ISO command itself. They already are what they need to be for all the distributions, which is one set command which allows you to set the clone directory and also set the ISO output directory, which is fine by me. I need to do the tag again. I think I might have to add the option to add your own ISO tag. we can think about that. So if we go to this command, we've got a set ISO tag of 2025. In my other ISO creators, you had the option to add your own ISO tag, but then if you was editing the .cfgs, then obviously you would need to do the same tag. Also, we're missing the guide. So normally in my other one, which is a compiled app image for Arch and Debian, I think for Debian, I can't remember, but definitely for Arch, it's a compiled app image which got everything embedded. So like the .zip that gets uncompressed into the home.config directory based on user. So if we go here and we go to, I've been doing a lot of tests, there's been some errors, so don't worry, the scripts don't actually make that file anymore. But if we go here and we go to here, this is where the build image gets put, and basically the zip that contained the build image was embedded into the app image. So it would unzip it from the compiled C++ into the directory it needed. You wanted it to be in. For those that have already used my Apex Arch ISO creator, they would already know that. But we've got some new features anyway now in this one. I'm going to potentially put this as a app image somehow. I'll work my way into that once I've got it a bit more plush. And we've got some new features, so we've got like a version control for each distribution. Which reminds me, that we can at least update that and provide some fixes. The Rust script, for those that don't know me, I'm not really a big fan of Rust. I normally use C++, and even to make a C script was a step back really. And to rebuild the whole thing again was crazy. To get it all in one is pretty mental. I didn't expect to be able to do that. To have it as individual components, I knew I could do. I didn't know if I was going to do it or not, although obviously I did. The Rust is, like what I was saying here, this is an experimental playground. Everything is experimental, although of course I do want to make sure that everything works. So it's an experimental playground, so I'm only having fun, but it will be stable in the sense that all the commands, of course, have been tested over the 2.5 years. The Rust script, of course, is not going to be updated as much as the others. I'm primarily supporting the C++, although everything will be updated because it's just for fun. So I'm going to add all the features. Over time will be passed down into the different languages that I support. Whether I make it in Bash or I don't know, I thought about it earlier. But for now, I mean, if it's going to be Bash, it's going to be an all-in-one. I'm not doing components anymore. But yeah, I want to make an app image. The whole app image would mean that you don't download anything, so I'll have to work out how that would work. Of course, it's a script. I've thought about a GUI. The whole GUI that I made in the first place of my old script was a bit temperamental and it wasn't exactly stable. So I don't know if I'd ever do a GUI again. That's why I never made an update on it, because it was pretty wild. To even get it to how it was pretty wild. I did spend nearly a few weeks, I think 4 weeks on it, building it before I released version 1.0. And I was up night and day for every other day building it, and I finally got 1.0 out, and then I realised there was tons of errors, certain things, and then in the end I just said, right, well, I'm going to focus on the script side of it, because a lot of people build their ISOs from TTY, and I think the script side of it's easier in a sense. Well, it was at the time. So yeah, now we got these special commands as well with this. This is the last thing I really want to talk about. We're not really going to get anywhere with DeepSeek, although I'm not going to try and get anything out of it in this video. I will do in the background. So we've got these new commands now that you can activate, and they do work with both the C++ and the C script. And what it allows you to do is install certain commands into the user bin directory, and then when you're in the terminal, if you type certain commands, they do certain functions. So we've got gen init generates the make init cpio for Arch, or the make init ramfs is it for Debian and Ubuntu. We've got the edit grub command, edit grub config command. We've got the edit ISO config command, setup script command, make ISO command. I'm gonna have various other commands as well because I'm doing other features. But for now, this is just the pure base of what is soon to be polished and a lot better. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I really don't know what else to say. If you want to contribute, please contribute. Please support if you can. Don't just trust any YouTuber's scripts. Always check what you're downloading beforehand. This is why I've open sourced my ISO creator, as well as also to get contribution, maybe some sponsorship, some feedback. At the most. I hope you have a good day or night, whatever time it is when you watch this video. Sorry, I'm half asleep. There's a bye from me, Aaron.